So before starting straight lines, first we have to know a very important term related to straight line, which is called slope of a line. Suppose we have a car here and it is moving in a flat surface. Now we have the car moving uphill. That means the car is going in an upward direction. So then the question that comes to any layman's mind is, what is the slope? So what is the meaning of the slope now? Slope means it is related to a term called inclination. So how inclined your hill or the plane is, that is the meaning of the term slope. Now let us study the meaning of the term slope mathematically. Suppose we have the x-axis, the y-axis, and we have a line L. So we can extend our line L to meet our x-axis. Then this line L makes an angle theta in the anti-clockwise direction with respect to your positive x-axis. What is the meaning of the term slope here? So mathematically, slope means we call it tan theta, which is also termed as m. So slope means the tangent of the angle made by a line with the positive direction of x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction. So slope is nothing but your tan theta. So if you know your angle theta, that means you can find your slope also. So now let us study some different conditions on your angle theta. So again we have our x-axis, the y-axis, we have a line which makes an angle theta with respect to our positive direction of x-axis. But here our theta lies between 0 and 90 degree. That means theta is an acute angle. So if theta is acute angle, automatically tan theta will be positive because tan of an acute angle is positive. So therefore your slope will also be positive. So whenever your theta lies between 0 and 90 degree, slope is always positive. Now let us study another condition on theta. Suppose we have our x-axis and the y-axis and they intersect at the origin. Then we have a line L and this line L makes an angle 90 degree with the x-axis. Then your theta becomes 90 degree. So what will be tan 90 degree? Tan theta means tan 90 degree. So tan 90 degree will be undefined. Or you can also say tan theta equal to infinity. And when tan theta is infinity, it should automatically come to your mind that your line is perpendicular to the x-axis. That means theta is 90 degree. Or you can also say that your line is parallel to the y-axis. Now let us study one more condition on your theta. Again, you have your x-axis and the y-axis and you have a line which makes an angle theta with respect to the positive direction of x-axis. So now if you see your diagram, you can say that theta lies between 90 degree and 180 degree. That means theta is an obtuse angle. So what happens if theta is obtuse angle? Tan theta will be positive or negative? Definitely negative. That means your slope is also negative. Now let us study one more condition on theta. So again you have your x-axis, the y-axis and you have a line L where the angle between the line and the positive direction of x-axis is 0 degree. So that means if theta is 0 degree, what will happen to your tan theta? It will become tan of 0 degree. And what is tan of 0 degree? That is 0. That means the slope will also be 0. So whenever the slope is 0, it should automatically come to your mind that your line is parallel to the x-axis as you can see in your diagram. Or you can also say that your line is perpendicular to the y-axis. Now let us study about slope of a line when 2 points on the line are given. Suppose we have our x-axis and the y-axis and they meet at the origin. Now we have a line L and if we extend this line L, it will meet your x-axis at some particular point. And this line L will make an angle theta with respect to the positive direction of x-axis. Now on this line L, we have 2 points P x1 y1 and Q x2 y2. And if you can see your diagram, you will see the distance x1 and y1 from the origin. Similarly, you will also see the distance x2 and y2 from your origin. So you will get the coordinates of P as x1 y1 and the coordinates of Q as x2 y2. Now you can see in your triangle that the base of the triangle is x2 minus x1 and the height of the triangle is y2 minus y1. and the third point of your triangle is R. Now, in this triangle R, as you can see in your diagram, the angle QPR will be theta. Because PR is parallel to your x-axis, and by properties of parallel lines, that is, by corresponding angles are equal, we can say that angle QPR equal to theta. Now, if you observe this triangle PQR, you can see that tan theta equal to perpendicular by base, that means tan theta equal to QR by PR, and therefore your M means tan theta, and that will be equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So this is your slope whenever 2 points are given to you. That means if you know 2 points x1 y1 and x2 y2, then your slope M is given by y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now we are going to study slopes of parallel lines. Suppose you have your x-axis, the y-axis, and you have two lines L1 and L2 which are making angles theta 1 and theta 2 with the positive direction of x-axis. So, if you see your diagram, then theta 1 and theta 2 will be equal because L1 and L2 are parallel lines. So, if theta 1 equal to theta 2, that means tan theta 1 will also be equal to tan theta 2. And tan theta 1 is nothing but the slope of the first line, which is M1, and tan theta 2 is nothing but the slope of the second line, which is M2. Therefore, M1 equal to M2. So, whenever two straight lines are parallel, then their slopes are equal. Now, we are going to study slopes of perpendicular lines. Suppose we have our x-axis and the y-axis. We have two lines L1 and L2 which are perpendicular to each other, and these two lines are making angles theta 1 and theta 2 with respect to the positive direction of x-axis, and the angle between them is also 90 degree. Now, if you see your triangle, then by exterior angle property, that means exterior angle equal to sum of remote interior angles, we can say that 90 degree plus theta 1 equal to theta 2, because theta 2 is your exterior angle. And now, we can also say that tan of 90 degree plus theta 1 equal to tan of theta 2. Now, what is tan of 90 degree plus theta 1? 90 degree plus theta 1 means second quadrant. So, you will have to give the negative symbol, and also tan of 90 degree plus theta 1. So, if you have 90 degree, then your tan function will be converted to the cot function, and you will have minus cot of theta 1. That will be equal to tan of theta 2. Now, minus cot of theta 1. Now, cot theta 1, cot is the reciprocal of tan. So, we can say that minus 1 by tan theta 1 equal to tan theta 2. And in the next step, tan theta 1 we are going to replace by M1, because tan theta 1 means slope of the first line which is given by M1, and in the opposite side tan theta 2 we are going to write as M2, because tan theta 2 means slope of the second line. So, now if you shift your M1 to the opposite side, you will get M1 into M2 equal to minus 1. That means whenever two lines are perpendicular to each other, the product of their slopes is equal to minus 1. So, students, have you understood the condition on the slopes when two lines are parallel and perpendicular?